Great coaches often start out as great athletes. Many times injury is the catalyst that sets them on that path. But what happens when a great coaching career is threatened by injury?
Nice shot, Rebecca.
This is the story of a woman who would not let anything, including chronic debilitating knee pain, keep her from victory. This is The Comeback. I'm Dr. Mark Addix, orthopedic surgeon and Super Bowl champion. So I know pain from both sides of the equation. These are the stories of lifelong athletes who, when faced with pain, fought back and took control. Welcome to The Comeback. We're here with Kathi Bennett, the head coach of the Division I women's basketball team at Northern Illinois. Tell us about how you grew up.
I grew up pretty much all over the state of Wisconsin. Kind of unique because we moved a lot because my dad kind of rose in the coaching ranks. So spent some time in Mineral Point, Marion, New London, Eau Claire, Stevens Point, Oshkosh, Madison. I loved the game. I had a passion for it. Basketball is something I just love doing. So really put a lot of time in to the game as a youngster. Growing up, being a part of, my dad's the greatest coach ever. I feel like it's really hard not to rub off on you. You see the highs, you see the lows. I was a gym rat. I always went to practice.
So what happened to your knee in high school? What exactly was the injury?
Going into my senior year, I tore my knee. I tore my ACL, my MCL, and all my cartilage, my medial cartilage. It was my decision not to have the surgery. I wanted to, because I had put so much time in and had interest from some major colleges. I just wanted to give it a shot. And so I did physical therapy, for a good month, trying to get my leg as strong as it possibly could be. And first time we were doing a 3-on-2 drill, I went down, it just exploded on me again. And so I didn't play my senior year. So my playing, was cut short.
So tell us how you got into coaching.
I was actually selling my plasma for gas money. I was broke. There was an ad in the paper for being an assistant coach at Carroll College. And all my friends are like, just do it, Kathi. You don't have any money. So I ended up applying for that job and I got it. And the coach there, Dan Steffen, was awesome. He let me really do my thing. And he never held Saturday practices. And so I basically said, well, if I volunteer to coach a Saturday practice, is that okay? And so I just made it, if you want to come on Saturday, come. And the whole team showed up and I ran my first practice ever and I was hooked. And I knew, what am I doing? This is my love, this is my passion, this is what I got to do. Why I love coaching, it's something where you have a belief of how you want the game to be played. And everybody has a different belief. And then you go out and you recruit players and you get to test it against the best competition. And so for me, that challenge is like no other.
How many injuries and surgeries did you end up having all through high school and college?
Oof. I would say a minimum of 10. 1985 was, my last major surgery, and I had a lot of scopes in between, and I got my knee replaced in 2008, in the summer of 2008.
So at what moment did you say, I can no longer work through this, I've got to find another solution?
I wasn't sleeping well at all. It would wake me up. It was always, an ache, always that ache that never went away. I know when I saw Dr. Ritzow and I told him what I was still doing, he was like, how are you running? Because I would pick 2 days and try to run, and he was pretty shocked that I could still run and do the things that I was doing. But it just got to the point where, I couldn't move. I was locked. Having been through so many injuries and procedures, Kathi knew she needed the help of a skilled joint specialist. She called one of the best, Dr. David Ritzow.
Kathi had problems with both knees both kind of related to injuries she had when she was much younger?
Right. She was obviously, comes from an athletic family, always playing sports and college, high school and college basketball, and she blew out her knee, as they say, in high school, and also injured it again in college, had multiple surgeries. Both knees had ACL repairs. She had a more extensive problem on her right knee, and yeah, so she had previous injuries that she just sort of nursed along.
When you talk about a partial joint replacement, how many parts are there? I mean, how many parts can you replace?
We typically think of the knee in 3 different compartments. There's the patellofemoral compartment under the kneecap. There's the medial compartment, which is on the inside part of the knee, and then the lateral compartment, or on the outside part of the knee. And you can replace each of those individually, and if the arthritis is confined to one part of the knee, you might be able to simply replace that part.
So I come in, I've got arthritis in both my knees. One is diffuse and one is just partial. What are you telling me about my partial knee replacement?
But basically we get into the knee joint by going adjacent to the kneecap, and that gives us access to the joint surfaces. And typically they're going to be worn down in arthritis. So we start out by using jigs or cutting guides that allow us to remove a small but reproducible amount of bone with the damaged cartilage. And that essentially squares off the end of the thigh bone and flattens off the top of the tibia bone. Then we place a metal cap over the end of the femur, and it fits firmly against the cut surface in the end of the bone. So it becomes a new cap on the end of the bone and basically a new cartilage surface. The top of the shin bone has a similar thing, and then in between those two go a polyethylene insert that becomes essentially the new cartilage surface that glides on the end of the thigh bone.
If someone comes in and just looking at the x-rays and with exam, you're thinking, okay, this is a knee that can have a partial, how do you counsel your patients?
I talk to the patients prior to surgery and let them know that we're planning on doing a partial replacement because all the evidence seemed to point to only part of the knee being diseased, and we can leave the undiseased part intact. But some of the preoperative tests, like the x-rays, don't always tell the full story. So when we get in surgery, we have the backup plan of doing a full knee replacement, and in Kathy's case, we did have that as a backup plan.
I woke up and I'm like, do I have a partial or do I have a full? Right away, and got the partial. And that surgery went so well. And I'm glad I had that one first because I recovered very quickly. I only was in the hospital overnight and was out that next morning. But with knee replacement, you're gonna have pain, but it was tolerable and just worked my way back. I'm very thankful because, my knees are great. I sleep through the night. I'm more active than I thought I would be able to be. I got a little bit of a jumper, it's only 10, 15 feet compared to the 3-point line, but it's great. I can do everything that I want to do.
How much better did you feel after your joint replacements, and how did that change the way you were able to coach?
Before I had my knee replacements, coaching, standing, trying to move, it was painful, distracting. And so after I had my surgeries on both my knees, it was night and day. I mean, I can stand now, all day.
No longer being able to do the things that you want to do, does it change you?
I was taken away from being able to work out how I wanted to. It definitely affected me. I don't think I had the energy that was required. I think that having my knee replaced gave me energy back because I felt great. I could do the things I wanted to do, and it does, when you're in pain all the time, it's hard to be cheery and upbeat and uplift, and so I feel that, as I went through the process, it's a great feeling to know that you're not going to be in pain all the time.
All right, yes, 1, 2, 3, yes.
Coaches preach perseverance and overcoming obstacles. With the help of her surgeons and 2 successful knee replacements, Kathy is now able to stay active and pain-free, leading herself and her teams towards all of their goals. I'm Dr. Mark Addix, and this is The Comeback.
before I had my knee replacements, coaching, standing, trying to move, it was painful, distracting. And so after I had my surgeries on both my knees, it was night and day. I mean, I can stand now, all day. They might get a little bit achy, but I think any knee without a replacement would do that. But I can be active. I can demonstrate a little bit, just say, hey, in my day we did this, and get down there and demonstrate a little bit. It's just, I can't explain how night and day it is and how good I feel being able to do what I want to do on the floor with my team.